Hello, students. In computer science, today I, Rishi Singhal, is going to teach you the very first unit, Computer Systems and Organization, where we are going to learn about basic computer organization. This is your chapter 1 from your curriculum. Now, first of all, we should know what exactly computer means. So computer has been derived from the word compute, which means calculation. So in case if you are going to define it on the basis of operations, you will come to know that C stands for calculate, O stands for operate, M for manipulate, P for print, U for update, T for tabulate, E for edit, R for response. So in this way, these words will tell you what exactly computer can do. And on the basis of application, we can say it as commonly operated machine, which is personally used for trade, education, and research. So if we are going to compile all these things, we can write a definition in a simple words that computer is an electronic device. Why it is called electronic device? Because it runs on electricity. So it's an electronic device that can perform a variety of operations in accordance with a set of instructions, right? Now, why it works as per our instructions? Because computer does not have their own IQ. So whatever instructions we used to give to computer react to that situation. So first of all, we should know what all strength of computers is. That means what all advantages, what all merits, what all pluses of computer. So definitely it has high speed, very accurate, reliable, versatile. It can handle in any situation. Diligence, high storage and retrieving capacity, reduction in response time, permanent and reduction in paperwork, reduction in cost, secrecy, etc. So out of these, you can write down 2 to 4 when it is asked in the question. What all weaknesses of computer? See, we have so many plus points, but definitely whenever we have plus points, we always have negative points also. So the very first thing is that computer cannot take its own decision. It doesn't have its own IQ. It cannot learn from past experiences. Now, what does it mean? No heuristics, no feelings. Now, suppose if you are standing in the corridor and someone is passing by and you are fighting with each other, or maybe you are throwing water to your friend. So when the teacher comes to you, they will just scold you, right? So next time when you stand there and you will try to throw water to your friend, definitely you are going to remember that previous experience. So from the previous experience, you come to know that this should not be done. So the human being can learn from the past experiences, but the computers cannot. How the computer functions? We know that computer is a data processor. That means it processes the data to give us the information. So data is the plural form of datum, which meaning fact. That means it gives us unprocessed raw facts and figures like RAM 2003, 8, 10.0, plus 10.0, minus 10.0. What exactly doesn't it means? It doesn't mean anything. It's a simple word. We are not getting any information out of this. So when these numeric, alphanumeric or alphabetic data, when sent to the CPU or to the processor, it gives us some information. Let us see how. Now you can see here when data is being processed, it gives us information, right? For example, Ram, whose roll number is 2003, has got grade A. This is an information. 20 degrees Celsius is data, but 20 degrees Celsius at noon is the information. And when we get this information, it enhances our knowledge. Let us see the example. This is the data 110, 111, 112. It is not depicting us anything. But when it is combined, when it is organized in a form of tabular form, row column format, we come to know that the roll number 110 has got 50 marks. Triple one has scored 20 marks. and so on. So we can say that it is a data processor. It converts data after processing into information that enhances our knowledge. Now let us take what exactly IPO cycle means. IPO stands for input process output cycle. That means you will take input as a data, process it, and you will give output as an information, right? So input stage, the things to work upon, process, the actual work being performed, and output is the result. For example, let us take an example of human task. Now, when you prepare a tea, what all ingredients you are going to put in a tea, that is called the input. When you burn it, when you boil it, that is called a process. And when you filter it and serve to the other person, that is called a tea, the output. Similarly, the computer task also performs as per IPO cycle. Suppose you want to do addition of two numbers. Now the input 3 and 4, these two numbers are considered as input. The symbol plus is also considered as input. And when you add them, that is called process. And when you get the result 7, that is called the output. So whatever task we have, whether it's a human task or computer task, everyone follows IPO cycle. So what we have learned, we have raw data in the input unit, which is being processed by the CPU, and it gives us the information from the output unit. That means after making use of output devices. And in between, if we want to store our data, if we want to fetch our data, we can use memory that can transform data as well as instructions to and from the main memory to the CPU. So computer is again called a data processor. Let us consider a very important topic, that is the basic architecture of computer. You can see here we have four main components. One is called input unit. The other one is called CPU. Now the CPU is connected to the memory and the CPU is going to give you the information through output unit, right? So let us consider this unit one by one and we will understand the things. The first one is input unit. The input unit comprises of many input devices. Now the purpose of these input devices is to convert whatever you had given the instructions to be converted into binary form. Now binary form means what? 0 and 1 form, because the computer can understand only the language of 0 and 1. So when the computer get the instructions from the input unit, it sends it to the processor. So the input unit, you can say, comprises of input devices, and we have various input devices like keyboard, mouse, scanner, light pen, joystick, microphone, digital camera, and so on. Output unit, where the output you can see, right? You can see the output from the monitor, you can take out the printer, you can see the, you can have the audio voice, that is called speaker, headset, projector, plotter. So all these are the examples of output unit. So remember students, you all should know minimum 2 to 3 output devices, 2 to 3 input devices. It might can come in a different format also. It might be possible that the teacher can give you various devices and you have to categorize into input unit, output unit, and so on. So now the very important thing is the CPU, because CPU is considered as the brain of computer. Whatever task you want to do in the computer, that is to be executed by the CPU. That's why it is called brain of computer. And it comprises of two components, two main components. One is called ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. The other one is called control unit. Arithmetic and logic unit basically does operations of arithmetic as well as logical. You can see here arithmetic operations means plus, minus, multiply, divide. And logical operations means greater than, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals to, not equals to, and so on. But the control unit, that will control the entire processing. It will allow at a time only one instruction to be gone to CPU. One by one instructions will go to the CPU, and that is to be carried out by the control unit. It gives a signal to the memory to send the next instruction whenever the way is free. Now the next fourth unit is the memory. Memory is the space where data, instructions and information is stored temporarily or permanently to facilitate its performance. You can see here we have four different types of memories. One is called internal processor memory, other one is called cache memory, primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory is also known as main memory, internal memory, and further it is divided into ROM and RAM that we are going to discuss in the next topic. And the other one is called secondary memory, where it is also known as backup memory, external memory or auxiliary memory because it is detachable. Again, we are going to discuss further this type of memory. Now the primary and the main memory, the memory which is inbuilt to the computer, right? And directly communicates with the CPU. You cannot make it detachable. That is called main memory or primary memory. You can see here. Suppose you have the memory here. Here the memory is divided into cells and further cells are divided into bits. So you can see there are so many bits that will be used to store your data. Now let us discuss in a deeper way. A bit is an elementary unit of memory. You must have done in your chemistry class 10th that atom is the smallest unit of the element. The same way, bit is the elementary or the smallest unit of the memory. A group of 8 bits is called byte and a group of 4 bits is called nibble. So nibble you can say half of byte and 1 byte is used to store 8 bits, that is one character is represented in the form of 8 bits or 1 byte. Further, this table you need to remember because 1 nibble is equals to 4 bits, 1 byte 8 bytes, 8 bits, kilobyte 1 kilobyte is 2 to the power 10 bytes or you can say 1024 bytes. 1 megabyte is equals to 2 to the power 10 kb, kilobytes 1 gigabyte is 2 to the power 10 megabytes and so on. So please remember this table. This can come in the form of relationship. It might become in the form of fill in the blanks or maybe in the form of MCQ. So you have to remember that. Next is memory unit. So whatever units we are doing, that is called memory unit. Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, yottabyte and so on. So as we were discussing before, primary memory is of two types, RAM and ROM. It might be possible that you will get the differentiation of RAM and ROM in your exams or maybe in the Viva. So RAM and ROM. RAM stands for read-only memory. ROM stands for read-only memory. Both are semiconductors. Let us discuss about the similarities also. But RAM is always volatile. That means in case of power cut, it will vanish. Whereas ROM is non-volatile. In case of power cut also, the data will remain as it is. RAM is used by the user programmers and system programs, whereas ROM is prepared by manufacturer and cannot be utilized by user programs. Next is secondary memory. Secondary memory, we had earlier discussed it about detachable memory. That means you can store your data permanently or semi-permanently and you can transfer it to the other devices like floppy disk is there, hard disk, magnetic tape, CD-ROM, DVD-ROMs, magnetic disc, video disk. These are all examples of secondary memory. Nowadays, you use pen drives, you use hard disk, and you transfer your data from one device to other. Sometimes you use your data and goes to school, and there you can utilize, you can, display your PPT, your text, your PDF, everything on the smart boards with the help of these secondary memories, right? So again, volatile memory and non-volatile memory, the same thing you have. Volatile is that power is always required. In case of power cut, it is going to vanish, it is going to volatile. And non-volatile is when there is a power cut, even then the data will be stored. So volatile, you can say temporary, whereas non-volatile is considered as permanent. And volatile is comparatively faster because it is nearer to CPU, whereas non-volatile is slower as compared to volatile memories. It is directly controlled by CPU, and non-volatile is not directly controlled by CPU. So this you need to remember and you can write in your own words. Next is the hard disk. Hard disk, you must have heard that it is a secondary memory. Why it is secondary memory? Again, it is detachable, you can transfer, it is portable. Here in the hard disk, you can see you have rotating platters, right, with a magnetic surface. And there you have tracks. In the tracks, you have your data. Then sectors are there, right? And there is a motor that rotates the disk at a very rapid speed from where you can read your data, you can store your data. And nowadays, hard disks are available in the form of gigabytes or terabytes. Coming towards the next secondary memory device, and that is CD, compact disk. It is circle in shape, right? And it can be of three forms: CD-ROM, CDR, CDRW. Now, CD-ROM you can write only once. CDR you can record, right? And CDRW is compact disk rewritable. That means you can rewrite again and again. Now you will ask, ma'am, what is the difference between CD-ROM and CDR? See, CD-ROM you will get at the time of manufacturing. At the time of manufacturing, the manufacturer used to create CD-ROM, and you once you go to market and buy, or maybe online or offline, when you go and buy your laptop, your systems, desktop, and so on, they used to give you the CD that is bootable. So that is called compact disk read-only memory. And CDR is the blank one. When you want to write it, you will burn it and you will get the data, but you can write only once. But CD-RW is rewritable. You can remove it, you can again add it. So the data is rewritable. So you can see here CD is very good for audio recordings, right? Because its capacity is less as compared to DVD. Now DVD stands for digital versatile disc, or you can say digital video disc. Please remember the full form of this. It is basically used to store your videos, right? Because compared to CD, it occupies more space. It has more space, or you can say 15 times more space as compared to CD. Again, this is of three types: DVD-ROM, DVD-R, DVD rewritable. DVD-ROM is read-only memory which is created at the time of manufacturing the device. DVD-R is recordable, that you can record once, and rewritable you can record as many number of times. Next is the pen drive that you generally use. Even I use it, right? It's a flash memory. It's a, you can say it's a USB, universal serial bus, right? So in the older times, you had floppy disks, then you had CDs, then you had DVDs. Nowadays, we use pen drive because it is secondary memory storage device, and it has a very good capacity, right? It can be in the form of GB or TB, and it is very small in size, so very convenient to transfer from one place to another. Now, the next important topic that maybe you will get in CUET, maybe you will be asked by the teacher in your class, in your theory exam, what is the difference between hardware and software. So hardware, the physical and tangible components of the computer that you can see and touch, whereas software are the set of programs that gives you the instructions, that gives the computer system the instructions so that the hardware can run. So both are interconnected to each other, right? And input devices, output devices, CPU, floppy disk, hard disk, monitor, these are the examples of computer hardware. Whereas C++, Foxplore, Java, Python, these are the examples of software. So without hardware, software is useless. Without software, hardware is useless. So you can say hardware is just like the engine, and software is just like the fuel that allows the engine to operate. So please remember at least three to four. points when you want to differentiate. The first is the definition part, second is the example part, third, how both are interdependent, and how will you compare both. Like hardware is just like the engine and software is just like the fuel to operate that engine. So these 4 points, please remember that it might come in the form of 2 marks. Now these are the assignment questions that you have to do. You can find out these questions in the last slide, and remember that the answers are available in the PPT itself. Still, if you have any doubt, please feel free to connect with me. My mobile number is 8595232326. So again, there is another assignment also, right? You can see these assignments are there. You have to give the relation, short note, hardware, software, differentiation, and so on. Bye bye. Thank you.